Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lex, and I would greatly appreciate it if you would support the channel by liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. Helps to get the videos out there, and it inspires me to keep creating. We have the StreamYard set up today because, as you guys know, Ashley was on the Viall Files. I think we will go ahead and watch this here. I know a lot of y'all don't like Nick Viall, so maybe you'll watch my video instead of support me and not give him views. No, I'm joking. But I'm gonna be honest, I don't feel like editing a video today. We obviously all know the outcome of the election. It was not cutesy, it was not demure. It's honestly been a pretty rough day for me and a lot of people around me. So this is what we're getting. We will watch this Ashley interview and we will react as we go. I might fast forward through some parts. I watched a couple of minutes of this beforehand, but we're going to get into the part where she starts to talk about the kids. So I'm going to put this up on the stage and we are just going to get going. Okay, so we have our tab open and we are going to go ahead and watch this. And hopefully the audio doesn't mess up because I don't know, for some reason last time it messed up. But let us begin. This is around the part where she starts talking about the kids. And as you guys know, I'll pause when when I have something to say. So let's get into it.
Okay. I'm like, what, you got some kids or something?
Oh,
Like, you guessed it? And he doesn't laugh.
No.
He doesn't laugh. And my heart sank to the ground. I feel like I'm put back there right now as I'm telling you the story. And I'm like, what do you mean? And so he begins to deep dive into the conversation a little, not fully. I won't say deep dive. He begins to allude to the fact that he was a sperm donor for, a lesbian couple who was married, and he was afraid to tell me because he didn't want to lose me. And I was like, that's robbery.
Red flag right there. Red flag right there. I feel like we see this a lot on this show, and I feel like we see this a lot in life. You don't get to lie to people because you're afraid to lose them. Like, I am sorry. That's just unacceptable behavior, but we will keep on going.
You robbed me of my choice because in the pods, like, all factors are at play, and I was so caught off guard. We talked from like 11 until 4 a.m. about the situation, but I didn't really ask the questions I really wanted to in that moment because of shock and because I was just trying to get around the fact of how we had all of these kids conversations and this is happening to me. And I also was kind of like, oh no, And
Do
so
you remember, like, when you asked him, like, what do you have kids? And he just stood there. What were the first words out of his mouth in terms of, well, how did he actually describe his situation?
he was like, well, yes. And I was like, how many? And he was like, 3. And he said, I was a sperm donor for, a lesbian couple. And at that conversation, we didn't deep dive into like, to what capacity, right? And so I, again, wasn't asking the right questions in that.
Very interesting thing. I think we obviously have established that the first kid, yes, was intended to be the child of Bri and Deshawn, her ex-wife. Even though Tyler did step up and even fight for custody of that child, but the twins were conceived completely outside of that. So I love how whenever on the reunion, when they're talking about it here, they continue to say, oh, he was going to be a sperm donor for a lesbian couple. He was going to be a sperm donor for a lesbian couple. But it's like, what about the twins? That had nothing to do with sperm donation, but let's keep going.
Moment, I mainly was just trying to figure out how he lied.
Sorry, y'all. I have to fix my headphones real quick. Sorry.
Like, omission is a lie. Let's be clear about that. And I remember just being hurt by all of it because I just didn't know. Because even if it was just a mere sperm donor situation at the time, that's still something I should have known.
A mere sperm donor situation. Girl, what does that even mean? A mere sperm donor situation? Strange wording, but
Right. So from there, he was saying he doesn't want to talk about it on camera, or, he doesn't want to hurt that family or like have people searching for them. Like, these kids have to go to school. Like,
that family, these kids. I know y'all gonna probably not like me for the pausing, but that family, these kids, same way they referred to them on the reunion. That family, those kids. I'm gonna take this one out because it's driving me nuts. All right.
Find out what kind of comedian is.
Sorry, yo. What happened?
Happy Wednesday, everybody. Today we're going to be.
Okay, that is not the right channel. Hold on. Let's unshare for a minute because I don't know what happened. Okay. Anyway, yeah, the way she talks about those kids to me is crazy. That family, those kids, as if like those are not this man's whole kids. He fought for custody of one of those kids. So I just have questions. I just have questions, but I'm about to bring it back up. I'm about to bring this back up, y'all. Hold on. All right, we should be good here. All righty.
There's no way I can continue in this experiment if we don't talk about this in some capacity, because I've been giddy the entire time and my energy is this low right now. The viewers are going to see it. When you meet my friends, they're going to see it. They know me. We have to talk about it in some capacity. So the next day I leave, I get my stuff, I move back home to my own apartment. They are like, come back and just have the conversation to whatever way you guys feel comfortable on camera.
Did you like reach out to production
Yes.
and be like, hey, just so you know, this
Tyler
happened?
did.
Tyler did. Okay.
Yeah, he reached out to our producer.
Did they have any clue at all, or did he, like, what do you know about?
They didn't say if they did or didn't.
Gotcha.
They did.
They knew. I mean, obviously, I don't have insider info, but if I feel like a lot of people were like, well, why didn't production stage the typical, oh, my friend found something, and they send them a text message, And the reason is because they wanted to give some validity to this show, in my opinion, because if these two didn't work out, we had Garrett and Taylor. I just don't feel like that would have been enough for a lot of people. I do think a lot of people would have boycotted this show. Anyway.
Didn't say if they did or didn't. He more so was like, this is what I told her and this is what's happening. And she's like leaving me, is what to his knowledge. And so we come back and we have a second conversation about it, kind of like on camera. Right. And we hit the first one to where I'm shocked. And everyone's like, oh, she's so calm. She's so gracious. I'm like, yeah, because the night before was a little different, right? And like now I have time to.
How angry were you? Like,
I was pissed.
Rightfully so.
Because everyone, like, honestly, there's another guy, which sounds so shallow of me, but there's another guy in the pods that had a kid, and I knew that wasn't what I wanted for my life. So I didn't even consider him.
Right.
Granted, I didn't have a connection with him, but I didn't, even if I did, I don't know if I would have done it.
Yeah. And his answer, at least at the beginning, I assume you'd agree, was a bit of a cop-out to like say, well, I don't want to talk about this on camera because I don't want people searching for them. It's just like, why didn't you think about that before you showed up?
Yeah. And it's like, well, even if we don't mention it on camera, they're gonna find it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's three of them. You can't hide. Like, you cannot hide. They're gonna find it. So
I was about to say, I just remember I think it was the reveal when he was like, people are going to start coming out of the woodworks and saying stuff about us. Did that?
So ironically, that's funny because people are like, he tried to warn her. He tried to warn her. He alluded to that. That was my question, actually. I asked him, if I were to sit down with your ex right now, or flings or people you dated, how...
His privacy?
Yeah. And even my mom was just like, this is a very sticky situation, Ashley.
So that part that I just fast forwarded over, she's trying to basically say she asked that question that prompted Tyler to say, oh, people are going to come out the woodworks. Then after that, he asks, Nick asks, so regarding this, were you kind of in a weird spot where you were trying to navigate finding out more information about this situation and also respecting Tyler's privacy? And that's what she's getting into.
So how you guys approach it needs to be, right? Because she's like, they will taunt these kids in this family if they want more, more information. And I'm like, yeah, but at the same time, if it does come out and I don't talk about it, they'll think I'm shocked, which they end up thinking, I don't know, like why they think I wouldn't know this. But
I want to stop right here. Ashley is very annoying. And I'm going to be honest, guys, I had to pre-watch this because I knew if I watched this off the cuff and just reacted, I'd be like very mean because I'm going to be honest, people like Ashley irritate me. I'm going to just keep it like people like Ashley irritate me. What I find frustrating about Ashley is her saying things like, people thought I was shocked. Why would people think I don't know? at least for my case, I never thought that Ashley was unaware of the kids, unaware of what's going on. The point is, Ashley, we are all confused why you now are fully aware with everything that has come to the forefront about these kids, Tyler's involvement, etc., and you still stand by him. You are okay with the fact that this man is a deadbeat. And it is clear as we continue to watch this interview that he lied to you about so much, and you are choosing to believe him. You are choosing to believe him. That's what we are confused about, girl. We are not confused or think that you thought that you didn't know about this. Anyway,
regardless, I felt it had to be said in a way.
Yeah.
So it was hard for me to navigate. I'm just so used to being very transparent that it was hard for me to navigate that conversation too, to try to make sure I didn't divulge anything. Like he said, there are 3 of them as a lesbian couple, like, whatever. Offline, he shows me pictures. That was more questions for me. And as I began to talk to him, his friends, his mom, and his family, is when I began to get a fuller picture of what was actually going on. And that's when I found out that, the ex-wife had left and Tyler stepped in, which the ex-wife's name is on the son's birth certificate. I've never seen the twins' birth certificate. And when the ex-wife left,
you've never seen the twins' birth certificate. Once again, as we know, like this man had those twins completely naturally. Completely naturally. Why haven't you asked, Ashley? Why haven't you asked?
he was pregnant with the twins. And Tyler grew up without a father. His father's like dying of bone cancer. He wasn't even invited.
Pause. Ashley said the ex-wife left when Bri was pregnant with the twins. But from what we know in the interview, the ex-wife left the picture when the son was around 10 months old or something like that. Isn't that what we heard? So again, Tyler is blatantly lying to this woman, right? And she's choosing to believe it. And she thinks that everybody else who's coming out with stories is against them. Again, I know people like Ashley and people like this, you can't break through. You can't break through. This is making me irritated. Ooh, this is why I had to pre-watch this, y'all, because
our wedding. And Tyler's like, when I gave my sperm, I gave it to a family, not for you to be a single mom. And that's when he jumped in. And for me, I guess the reason that it was easier for me to understand once talking to friends and him and, going deeper. Yeah. Is my godbrother's gay. He was in my wedding. He was a bridesman. And, at one point when I didn't know how my life was going, we laughed and joked about it. I could never do that. I could never donate my eggs to a close person, because if it comes out looking like me or something, I couldn't be around. Right. Whereas Tyler did. He was around for holidays. And for me, that's how my godbrother is. He's at every holiday, everything with me. So he was around, he let them call it. They knew him as their bio dad. And it's very taboo and very odd to think about, but I don't think there's any rule book to how adoption, sperm donation, or egg donation should go. I do think that it was a mistake on his behalf to blur those lines so heavily because of the kids, not even just the woman, but the kids. And I know she wanted him to mainly be a part for the boy, mainly, not even the girl. You very rarely see him with the girls here and there. It's mainly the boy. And Tyler stepped up and he was like, sure, I'll be their dad. He's like picking up from daycare sometimes. Like, they're friends. They lived in the same building.
Yeah.
They lived in the same building on top of that.
When you tell this story, I mean, the only thing that I think is probably surprised or hard for people to grasp, even me, it's just more like kind of like what a beautiful story, and as opposed to like being afraid to share it. Why not be proud of what he stepped up and what he's doing, especially like Love Is Blind? What a great story! Like, you would think that even producers would love that about him if they knew about it. But yeah, why was he so insecure about that getting out?
So 100%. And for me, like when I specifically seen the boy,
I do think that is an interesting point. If there was nothing nefarious, why not just admit it? Why not just admit it to a partner? Like, I feel that alone should be raising questions in Ashley's head. Like, why did he want to hide this so bad? Why didn't he want to just be upfront about it? Like, I don't know.
It like kind of broke my heart a little bit because he looks a lot like him, and I just like loved him immediately through a picture because I love Tyler so much. So it was very awkward for me to navigate as well. But this is the reason why. It came a point where Tyler, so a lot of the pictures, they're younger, like whatever. He was never, ever, ever around on a daily basis, weekly basis, monthly basis. There were times he wouldn't see them at all. Like he lived in.
How do you know that though? How do you know that, Ashley? Like, first off, I don't think any of us ever said that he was around on a daily basis, but also Tyler and Bri lived together. Tyler and Bri live together. So what are you talking about? Once again, I don't know if Ashley is trying to, and I use this term very, very lightly, very loosely, very lightly. I'm aware, but I don't know if she's trying to gaslight the audience. And obviously, it's not like true gaslighting because we don't interact with her in person, but like, I don't understand, Ashley. We know and are aware that Bri and Tyler lived together when the first son was born. And they were living together when the twins were conceived. So, like, what are you talking about that he was never around on a daily basis, a monthly basis, a weekly basis? Girl, what are you saying? Like, I don't know. Are you aware that this is a lie? Is this something you guys concocted to tell people? Or are you truly believing Tyler, who is just blatantly lying and knows that you are such a bird and you are so, I don't know, delusional, naive, that you'll just believe any words he says? And these are true questions. Like, I'm just, ooh.
Arlington, they've never been to his apartment, like things like
Lies. The ex-wife said that the son would be at his apartment. Possibly the twins, but I definitely remember that the son would be at his apartment.
that. He tried to back and like back off at certain points, and I know that she wanted him present, and he was trying to navigate like how to be there for him, for them, and also be her friend as well. And like they were in the army together, like I said, like this is not just a stranger. And so I think it's hard for people to digest too, because in a normal sperm donor situation, I mean, you can pick and choose your involvement, but most of the time you aren't that involved unless it is like a sister or like a friend or whomever. Right. So he came to a point where whenever she would be in a new relationship, with a new woman, she wants to have a family with a woman. Yeah. And he would always be on the outside looking in. He has no rights. He can't say where they go to school. He can't say anything.
He has no rights, but he literally fought for parental rights of the kids. He has rights to the twins because they are his biological kids. Ashley, guys, I'm going to be honest. I don't think we're going to watch this whole thing here. If you want to go back, I'll play some more, but I just feel like this is absurd. Like, this is actual absurd behavior. What do you mean he has no rights? Like, yes, he does, girl. He fought for rights of the son. He has rights of the twins. Maybe not anymore, but at some point he did because those were his biological children. Woo, baby.
He can't discipline. He can't do anything. So to him, he's like, I pop up and I'm an uncle and I play with them and I kiki. I wear these dad t-shirts that her mom is giving me, and put on this, face, but this is not my family. I'm on the outside looking in, and originally I did this to help someone else. Yeah. And then I put myself in this very uncomfortable situation. And that's why I tell people, I think he was a good guy that got too deep and didn't know what to do next. Mm-hmm. So when he finally decided to cut the situation off, of course, it's awkward and it hurts him as well to know about the kids, but he felt like it was better to do it now than to wait any longer. And he's like, I want my own family. Like, I want my own things. Whereas she's probably like, well, damn, like you were around, why do this now? They just have two different perspectives, I would say. And I think that even Tyler's friends and parents, and again, it's kind of a little difficult for me to talk about this because I wasn't there. Right. I'm only going off of the things that I know and the things I'm trusting.
Boom, there it is. And the things I'm trusting. And the things I'm trusting, which lets us know that she's just taking this man's word at face value. And because she's so naive, he can say whatever he wants. I mean, literally, the stuff she's saying is not even true. And we all know that as an audience. This is not from me searching or doing anything. This is from what the ex-wife put out there. This is from what Bri put out there. This is from what the documents that everybody put out there said. I don't know.
And if anything ever comes out differently, I'll do like a Risa Tisa and give you guys a scoop. But I'm just going.
Tyler.
I'm just yeah. And so they basically said the same thing, like, yeah, he was around, he let him calm down, but like they were young, like whatever. And he just didn't feel like that was his family. And again, it looks bad, but it's, if you realize, it's always holidays, it's always an event, it's always something, like he's around on the floor playing with them. It's never like an intimate moment with these kids. He was always supposed to be an uncle. And even
Is she serious? Wearing matching pajamas is not intimate. Wearing dad t-shirts together is not intimate. Being in pictures, hugging, kissing is not intimate. I actually kind of not really feel bad for her, but it's like one of those situations where you look at someone and you're like, damn, po little tink tink. And sorry, y'all know I don't cuss in my videos, but this is actually irritating. But it's like, dang, like po little tink tink. Like, she is so misted and delusional. And like, she had to delude herself, right? Because she wants to be married. She wants to be with this man. She wants to have someone. So she had to delude herself this hard. Because if you actually face reality, you're like, damn, this is not what I thought it was. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry about the cussing. I'm sorry about the cussing. I'm sorry about the cussing, y'all. I'm sorry.
ex-wife said it, and then this is the thing about like, oh, he was sleeping with her. It's like, what are you trying, like, what is going on?
Right.
There's so many false narratives.
I mean, that makes a lot of sense, the context you provided. I mean, just thinking about it as a new dad, I couldn't imagine what it'd be like. Here he is, he probably made a decision, again, out of the goodness of his heart, maybe didn't even think it through. I don't think any guy who gives away their sperm, they're probably not even thinking about what's going. Yeah, like what's going to happen.
Women in that way either.
Yeah,
no
I think
offense,
like I remember when I was in college, like I never did, but I remember being like, I need a few bucks, let's do that. And then I remember being, wait,
slowing down and coming around, and basically said something along the lines of, I just don't have a connection with these kids. And she's hurt because she's like, well, why don't you? Because they're still kind of.
So I fast forwarded. Y'all know I can't listen to Nick Viall talk, but I fast forwarded because she was basically saying at the beginning of this that at a certain point, Tyler and Bri, they did have some kind of conversation, and he had to reach out from the dog's Instagram page because she blocked him apparently. And he was trying to tell her, like, look, prior to the show happening, when they had that conversation that Bri referenced, apparently she claims that Tyler told her, like, I don't have a connection with these kids. This doesn't feel like my family. She'll explain it, and then I'll comment.
Your kids, like, why don't you have a connection? He's like, this is your family, and this is what I originally signed up for. I know I stepped in to try to help. I know I said I'd be there for the twins. You were by yourself, and twins made it worse, And so biologically, these are still his kids. So he feels a certain way, but he's like, I can't do this. And she's like, why? She was disappointed. And I can see, why she was disappointed as well. But he's like, I just don't want to have any connection with you or the.
Okay, so little distraction. Let's keep on going here.
Because if I talk to you, although you've been my long-term friend, there's no way I wouldn't be able to not talk to the kids. And I think it's best if I remove myself.
Did she only want him involved once her ex-wife left?
I think he was involved around, like even the ex-wife kind of said, like he was around, but kind of in like an uncle capacity. And I don't think that, she wanted him around as much. Like even when.
Hey, this man thought of a very interesting lie to justify him heading out, Coincidentally, it was, oh, yeah, we had a conversation and I said, oh, I don't feel like this is my family. And it's like, I don't know. Even if that's true, let's go off of a hypothetical that that's true. You don't get to pick and choose once you choose to involve yourself in your kids' lives. Now, all of a sudden, you're going to remove yourself. Like, that's literally so unethical and awful and heartless. And the fact that Ashley is sitting down right now being like, yeah, that's okay. That's cool. Like, girl, are you okay? Like, are you okay, sis? Because what?
She got divorced. She tried to fight for custody. And that's when Tyler went for the sperm donor mom's like side and basically was like against her to make sure that that woman could keep all of her kids and that the ex-wife couldn't take the kids. I think she wanted him in a bigger capacity once she left. I'll say that. It's not that he wasn't around before that. He was.
Okay.
But she wanted him around in a bigger capacity because now she's by herself, which sucks.
Yeah.
And now she's engaged and with a whole nother woman.
So it's time.
So there's that.
So
Pause. Couple of things. Number one, sperm donor mom. She alternates between using Bri and sperm donor mom in this video, and I feel like that's so like annoying. It's just such a little jab. Like, just use the woman's name. Like, you don't have to be like this. That woman did nothing to you, actually. So I don't know why you need to act like that. Number two, she supposedly claims that the Bri is engaged to another woman. Question mark. We don't know. But even if that's the truth, who cares? Like, again, I feel like Ashley's bringing up a lot of this stuff, but it's like, who even cares? This man chose to be in the lives of the kids. And regardless of if there's a murky area with the son, which for the record, I do not believe that. I do not believe there's a murky area or a right to say there's a murky area. But even if there is, with the twins, those twins were conceived naturally. So I don't know why she keeps saying, oh, she wanted to let that woman keep all three of her kids. Tyler fought for custody of the son. The twins, from what we understand of the timeline, which I was not there either. I was not there. I want to be very clear. But from what we've understood of the timeline, corroborated by 3 different people, because the grandmother as well, is that the custody battle happened before the twins were born. I don't know. I wasn't there, but what is...
So
They scrubbed that Instagram too. So they're not the only ones scrubbing.
So right now, I mean, before we got into his ex, well, not even his ex, his ex-friend, I can now understand why Tyler did what he did, how you responded, and even why the show, the way it's aired, didn't do you guys any favors, because it looks like he is not being forthcoming. Like, we're still watching it now, kind of like, what is the truth?
Yeah.
You know, on that aspect, I could appreciate why even her is also confused by how it's aired. But what
mistake is like you sleep with the guy once and it's a mistake. You don't, I mean, maybe sometimes you go back, but
a kid is a whole different thing.
Yeah, you try not to make that same mistake.
What else is she saying about him?
Oh, the sperm donor mom?
Yeah, sperm donor mom. Yeah, what's...
Sperm donor mom.
I don't know. It was just that one thing, and then she reached out and she apologized, and Tyler was, honestly, that was the hardest part, is just seeing Tyler struggle during a time that should have been just about our love story. So I think once she apologized, she kind of felt bad, and like she seemed that, and I said, like, yes, getting beat up on social media is never fun, is what I told her.
So they've both apologized, the grandma and
No, just her. She apologized to me only, not even Tyler.
Grandma's not apologizing.
No, grandma's not going to apologize.
Is grandma still posting?
Okay, so to catch it up, she says that Bri reached out to her after she posted that series of Instagram stories that she posted about the twins, the conception, everything, the stories that are now deleted. But if you want to see them, they are on my page. I did post and talk about them. But she's basically saying that Bri reached out and apologized to her about that, supposedly to only her and not Tyler, and just basically said, sorry, wasn't trying to attack you, Ashley. Which, again, I feel like we need to listen to the way that Ashley is talking about things. I think Ashley's telling this story in a very specific way for a reason, because she's trying to make it sound like Bri apologized for what she said, which is not true. She's trying to basically make it seem like she apologized. She knows that what she said is a lie, when in reality, Bri apologized, saying, hey, Ashley, I don't want to attack you. I didn't want to come at you. I just wanted to tell my story about what happened. So I want you to really pay attention to how Ashley is telling this story, because I do think the wording and the language and the angle she's taking is extremely important.
No, she apparently made her page private, and because Tyler had a really, really bad day, and it was a really, really hard time. And I know that Tyler reached out to Bri. I can do that right now. I could say, tell my god,
and it's Kobe.
Text me, right? Text me some stuff right now so I can make it look like. I can do that right now. I could say the very thing that we tried to avoid happened. I mean, the kid's birth certificate is online. It's sick. So the very people who are creating TikToks with their false journalism. TikTok, I just got a TikTok for the first time, and I wish I never had it.
No, it's people.
It's a whole new world.
People spread rumors, and they're like, "It's called journalism."
It's law, like it's law now because someone sent you a screenshot with a contact named Tyler. I can do that right now. I could do XA.
Pause. She's referring to the text messages that have been sent from Tyler's ex about, you know, how he owes her money and all of these different things. Now she's trying to frame that those text messages are fake. Girl, that's the oldest thing in the book.
Tell my God,
And it's Kobe.
Text me.
To you,
100%.
and then he was taking the initiative as a okay.
Which makes so much more sense.
100%.
Because it kind of comes across potentially as performative. Because you never really know early on. When you see something early on that may be too good to be true, we just wonder if it is.
Yeah, one of his friends, Oliver, after the wedding, came up to me and said something along the lines of, I wanted to say thank you. This was a beautiful wedding, beautiful reception. He was like, I just wanted to say also thank you for helping lead Tyler, you know, back to God. And like, you know, that was always important to me as a friend. He was in the Army as well.
Check out the Uptown Loafer. They have low.
I want to jump a little bit to your relationship with your father.
Okay. I'll be honest, I think we're going to stop there because realistically, that's kind of the part about the kids. And, you know, I think for me, this is obviously not my life. This is not my kids. This has nothing at all whatsoever to do with me. I do think that, you know, hey, I want to have everybody's side on my page. So I have Bry's side, I have the Sean side, now I have Ashley's side on my page. If Tyler ever speaks out, his side can come out too. I just think for me, this is insane. And as I said before, it's really goes to show the level of lying and deception that Tyler has pulled on Ashley. And I feel like it's really sad that Ashley doesn't investigate stuff. I mean, she admitted straight up in this whole thing, like, hey, look, like, I'm just taking what, you know, I am being told and I'm believing it. Like, she flat out admitted that. We saw that a few minutes ago. And I just find it to be extremely, extremely crazy. And again, for me, I don't know how much of it is this is what they concocted versus this is what he told her. Because I do think she knows some stuff and she sees some stuff, but at the end of the day, he can tell her anything. And we heard her say it here first. You know, look, like I said, for better or for worse, for better or for worse. And that's what it is. It's for better or for worse. So, again, I already told you I don't have that much more to say on Ashley. I think Ashley has already shown who she is and we should believe it. But yeah, just wanted to put this here. I know a lot of y'all don't like Nick Viall, and I know a lot of y'all don't want to go and watch a 2 hour or an hour and a half interview. So here you guys go. Thank you so much for supporting the channel, and I will talk to you guys in the next one. Bye.